On Thursday evening, Environment Commissioner Janusz Potocznik showed he wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty when he got up close and personal with some earthworms at this event to launch the European Citizens Science Initiative, which aims to involve 5 million Europeans in grassroots science projects over the coming years.
Programs like this Citizens Science Initiative fit in very well. They are all about knocking down the institutional barriers and having a useful exchange of information that is mutually beneficial.
The theme of this whole Green Week, clean air for all, is something which I think the public gets. They understand that the costs of inaction are very high, 70 to 100 billion euros, and premature deaths are also at unacceptable levels.
It's very important to remember that citizen science can be applied to a whole range of different projects with different aspirations.
Then on Friday morning, it was time for delegates to draw some final conclusions at the closing session.
There were very elaborate, intense, good discussions. I hope really that the questions that you raised in the beginning were answered and were answered to your satisfaction.
These are sobering times to be a European. I cannot remember living through so intense a period of questioning of the European model. The place of European legislation itself is something being called into question. But we are all clear about one thing. Environmental problems know no borders. And we will all be sharing the same air for some time to come.
Europe depends heavily on imported oil for its mobility and transport. The EU spends €1 billion every day on buying imported oil and burns more than half of it in road vehicles, aircrafts and ships.
Air pollution poses a major challenge to public health. Let me start at the global level. The OECD's Environmental Outlook to 2050, which we released over a year ago, projects that between now and 2050, the number of people who die globally from exposure to particulate will more than double from 1.5 to 3.5 million people.
Science tells us clearly not to look at environmental problems in isolation. Air quality, the health of humans and ecosystems, and climate change are all connected. These connections are in many ways a daunting challenge for scientists as they require an interconnected response to complex issues.
Probably the most important thing on which we need to focus is public awareness. We really need to understand how seriously air which is polluted is affecting our quality of life, our health, not only the environment. And I think that all those things which we have heard are so convincing that they would deserve not only to be sometime mentioned in newspapers, they would need to be on the front pages, and also political attention to them should be strengthened.
The tough questions have been on the table. The link with health, which is a very serious link. The link with transport and mobility, which is not an easy issue to discuss. And I'm very happy that this got carried over into the final panel where the Commissioner went to the heart of the matter. The OECD, as a more economic institution, also went to the heart of the matter. And I think that's where we really should be putting the emphasis.
And then it was all over for another year, with participants heading out to enjoy the Brussels sunshine and perhaps even a breath of fresh air.